There are certain conditions when walleye will lift up off the bottom and search for cruising bait fish. That's when crankbaits are the lures of choice. In this case, we're showing a shad rap that can be weighted down with extra weight if you're fishing in deeper water, or it can be fished without the extra weight and cranked down and retrieved very close to the bottom. Sometimes walleye, when they're very actively feeding, will chase bait fish that are darting around the rocks. And you can see here that this perch-colored Rapala is being bounced off the rocks to mimic bait fish that are trying to hide there. This works especially well when walleye are deep and feeding on bait fish near the bottom. Fat Rap made by Rapala is also an excellent crankbait if you want to use a stop-and-go retrieve, allowing it to bounce along the bottom and then to rise up backwards. The Fat Rap is more buoyant because it has a larger balsa wood diameter body, and it's ideal for bump and run along the bottom. You can see here that a walleye that would follow this would just nail it when it comes back up off the bottom. Here's a shot of a Rapala Double Deep. This is probably the deepest diving Rapala that's made, and it'll run down to about 30 feet and literally runs 90 degrees when you start cranking it. These can be fished over weed beds and even over a hard bottom. There are times when walleye fishermen want to use a crankbait that runs at a consistent depth. This could be when casting and retrieving it in shallow water or when it's fished off a downrigger. These lures imitate bait fish that are swimming in a steady line and are ideal when fishing for suspended walleye. Here's a nice walleye to hit a shad rap. This is probably one of the most exciting way to catch walleye, especially when they move onto structure and you can simply cast and retrieve to catch your fish.